Hello and welcome to Elizabeth's Craft Room. Today I'm going to show you a project that I'm doing especially for some ladies I met the other day at Julie's, and we were looking at some little boxes. They are beaders and make beautiful jewellery, and this little box that I designed that day was the perfect size for fitting in bracelets. It's sort of 3 inches by 3 inches by about 3/4 of an inch deep. So I promised to do a quick video to show them how to make this one. So we're going to start with a piece of designer paper. This is from the All Is Calm Designer series paper, which is in the Autumn Winter catalogue right now. And this is 6 inches by 6 inches. And we're going to punch and score at 3.5 inches all the way around. So I should just go ahead and do that. So 2.5. Did I say 2.5 and 3.5? That's what we're doing. 2.5 and 3.5 inches all the way around. And apologies while I'm doing this for the lighting. I'm doing this at night. My regular light that I use when I'm videoing at night has broken, so I'm using another one. So it looks kind of weird and green through my camera that I'm looking at here. So I'm hoping it doesn't look quite so bad for you. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do before I put my envelope punch board away is this is going to be the part that opens the box, and one of the things we can do, and I'm kind of eyeballing where the middle is here, so I hope I've got that right, is to actually use the punch board to make a little opening in the front of the box. So I'll just put these to one side and show you the next bit. So the next bit is to refold all of those score lines that we've already done, just to give them a little bit more strength, and it makes putting the box together easier. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just cut some little tabs. I like to cut just little tiny V's, almost just like removing the score line, and we're going from the base up to the score line that's across. I don't know how well you can see on this pattern paper. You might be able to see better if I just show on the back there. And then we're going to do opposite side. So again, cutting little tiny V's out on those score lines. So we've got tabs 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I'm going to put some Tombow glue onto those. You can use sticky strip, but the reason I like Tombow, even though it takes a minute to dry when you're doing it, is you can actually line up and get a nice square edge. With Tombow, once it's stuck, it's stuck. Sorry, with sticky strip, once it's stuck, and you don't get that kind of wiggle room to make an adjustment and get it exactly right. I can see the shadows on this weird lighting. They're terrible, so apologies for that. I hope you're getting what it is I'm doing here. Okay, so I'll just leave that to one side for a moment and bring in my trimmer just to cut the outer piece for this. So the outer piece for this box is 3 1/8 of an inch by 9.5 inches. And all the lovely ladies at Julie's were all ladies who did inches, which is good for me. And then, while I've still got this here, I'm going to also score, and that is at 2 inches, 2 3/4 inches, 5 3/4 inches, and 6.5 inches. And that's going to make the outer piece of my box. So, returning to the middle here, the next thing we're going to do is just pinch and fold. Pinch and fold, and go all the way around with that. And as you pinch inwards, you actually form this little box. It's a really sweet kind of little look to it. Now you can just leave it like that, but I prefer to give it a little bit of strength. So I'm going to take another piece of cardstock, and this is at 3 inches square, and I'm just going to pop this 3-inch square piece into the bottom here. You can glue it if you wish, but as you can see, it sits quite nicely. And you can also decorate the inside. When I did this one, I'd actually decorated the inside with some of the designer paper as well. So you can certainly do that as well. So to do the outer piece, we're going to just fold on those score lines. And the easiest way is to turn it upside down, and that piece is going to glue across there. Now what you want to do is not glue it absolutely really tight, because you want to be able to get the drawer in and out, the little matchbox open nice and easily and not be fighting it. So just give it a little bit of room when you're putting that together, and then you can see that drawer comes out quite nicely. So let's have a little bit of bling. So let's sort this to decorate this. Now, it's quite hard to stick to glittery cardstock, and this is our silver glimmer paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a bit by cutting a little hole out of the middle. That's just a 3/4 inch circle. And then I'm going to cut the biggest one, which is here, which is 1 3/4 inches, and just roughly pop that circle in the middle. And you'll see that I can glue that piece onto the outside of the box quite easily. Whoops. And again, I could put layers and things on the top of here, but I'll just do this. So now I've got somewhere where I can stick the next layer, and it's not going to argue with me too much. So I'm now going to use a 1 3/8 inch circle. And that's going to go on here, and then I need to do a little bit of stamping with a piece of very vanilla cardstock, and I'm using the It's For You stamp. This is from Amazing Birthday, and I'm going to use this one here, and just stamping that with black ink. I'm using Memento, and I didn't like that one, it wasn't quite black enough, so I'm going to have another go. We always have an emergency side on our cardstock for when it all goes wrong, so I'm happy with that one. And I'm going to punch this out with a 1 1/4 inch circle punch. And as I say, you could decorate this however you like. You could just put a ribbon round it, put a bow round it, which would look very pretty. I'm just going to pop that It's For You onto there, and then I'm going to use a little dimensional foam pad and pop that in the middle, and because I left that piece out now, that's going to stick nicely and pop onto there, and there we go. So now we've got a pretty little box to put your bracelet in. So I hope you've enjoyed your visit to Elizabeth's Craft Room today. I look forward to welcoming you back soon.